what should you not fix before you're selling your home? Sometimes it's really hard to tell, well, what brings the highest return on my investment? Should I remodel this, fix this? What is it? Well, we're talking about this now, and I have 10 things for you that you should not do. And then at the end, a couple items that are really things that would help you and you're getting your money back. So first of all, don't extensively remodel your kitchen. Unless you have done it while you lived and you got to enjoy the remodel, just don't do it, because you're going to remodel it by what you like, but who knows what the buyers like. Paint, replacing hardware goes a long way. Maybe even new appliances. That might be probably the biggest return on your investment are stainless steel appliances. Bathrooms. It's kind of like the kitchen. Don't over improve and don't really personalize it too much. It goes with everything that is in your house. Just don't personalize it too much. Keep it neutral if you are intending to sell the property and you can foresee that already. If not, do what you love, do what you like, but if you're doing a remodel just to sell the home, don't overdo it. Again, same like with the kitchen. Stay with the paint, hardware, plumbing fixtures, light fixtures, a good clean. It needs to smell good, it needs to look good, and that will help you sell a house. Don't replace the flooring. If you've ever thought about replacing the carpet with hardwood, or you are really wanting to have the wood floors refinished, well, get a quote and see how much that costs you, because that is a matter of how big the space is. Generally, I do not recommend it unless you have it done while you live there and you got to enjoy it. Now, I do recommend that if your carpet after a good clean still looks kind of, let's call it ratty, or is even damaged, definitely have that replaced. It shouldn't cost an arm and a leg. It's not cheap. Use a good pad. Use a very neutral color, maybe some speckled colors and shades. That will help you. And don't worry about, what that the buyer might or might not like. Most of the time when I get sellers wondering if they should replace the carpet, they say, well, what if I replace it with something that the buyer doesn't like? Well, buyers don't want to buy a house that they have to replace the carpet immediately. They want to move in and just live, get settled, and then make plans. So get an inexpensive carpet. That is my suggestion. Get an inexpensive carpet, get a decent pad, and the buyers are good to go. Oh, neutral, of course. Has to be neutral, just like everything in the house when you're selling it. Cracks in the driveway. Should you fix them? Unless there is some heaving, some extreme heaving, I wouldn't touch it. If the buyer comes back during the inspection objection and requests that those cracks be fixed, then you can still decide if that's something that you want to do. If this buyer offered a really good price for your house, you might be leaning towards fixing it because you don't want to lose your buyer. So just wait and see what they want you to do. Don't replace the front door. Front doors are expensive. You might be able to refinish it. You can exchange the lock, the hardware to give it a fresher look, and you can kind of spruce up the entrance to maybe tone down if your front door is not looking really great, and sometimes cleaning is all it takes. But anyways, talk to me. I'm happy to help you. And talking about doors, and we can make this the next point even, talking about doors, I have never had a buyer look at a house and say, well, the interior doors, I just don't like them. I'm not going to buy the house. It might have been a part of the decision while they're not buying a house, but it's never been the reason. Really clean the doors well, especially when they're white. We all have, lots of grubby fingers. Clean them well, keep them white, have nice hardware on the doors. That again, that is a good solution, but don't replace them. Oh, remove dated wallpaper. So wallpaper has been coming back over the last few years, and you might see them in model homes, and some of them just look fabulous. But when you're looking at like 90s borders, you know, on the top of the ceiling, I don't know if you remember those, it's better to remove them. Some of them come off really easily, others are really a pain, but take them off. It will do wonders. And afterwards you usually have to paint, of course, but it will do wonders for the whole impression of the property when somebody walks in and doesn't see that. Trust me, that is a great investment. You know, some realtors also recommend to remove popcorn ceiling, but removing popcorn ceiling can be a significant investment. So make sure you get some offers. If you find a contractor that gives you a good price, I totally recommend it. But again, why didn't you do that before? Especially if you're not crazy about, you know, popcorn ceilings. However, speaking of popcorn ceilings, if they're dusty, and popcorn ceilings can get dusty, see if you can clean them by blasting them with some air. It just does not look cool, especially. So I see it a lot when you have a fan on the ceiling. The fan is completely dusted over, and then the popcorn ceilings are as well. It's not a good look. It's probably not your house, but I've seen it before, so I just thought I'd mention it. Don't replace the windows unless they are damaged and they're compromised. Replace them then, but otherwise, a lot of times what you need is a good cleaning. You know, with all the dust that we have here in Colorado Springs, they get dirty very quickly. So clean them, and then when they're compromised, they're leaking, or they're cracked, by all means, replace them. Don't just replace the windows because they look old. Maybe they have a wood frame and they're a little water damaged, because it does happen. Maybe you can paint the wood frames as well so that it looks nice and new, but don't replace them. I wouldn't. In fact, I had a seller ask me one time, you know, how much more the home is valued because she had replaced the windows with triple pane windows, which was a good thing because it kept the noise out. She was on a noisy street, but buyers didn't pay for that. That was nothing that she could get anything for. It was something that she wanted to do for herself, and that's all great. You know, good for her, but it just didn't bring anything. How about this? Is one of my favorites: converting the garage into living space. You will not get your money back. There is no significant increase in value because buyers want a garage. Just because you have some extra living space, especially if it's unpermitted, it doesn't bring you anything. So I would stay away unless you have a need for it while you live in the house. Personally, I would not recommend it, but sometimes, you know, you just have to do what you have to do to make things work. But overall, see if you can maybe convert it back into a garage, or a part of it into a garage. Again, that's something that we probably should talk about. What you should do, let's just get to a couple points here. Paint neutral colors on the wall if you have, you know, especially if you have some very unique colors on the wall, make it neutral. A buyer needs to imagine themselves in the house. And even with gray, I'd be a little bit careful. But no yellows, and again, gray, be careful. Replace the carpet, as we have mentioned. If it's dirty, maybe you even have some wood flooring underneath. So something to be explored. It's definitely a marketable item to have wood floors underneath carpet. And otherwise, just clean, clean, clean. White surfaces in your house should be white. Clear should be clear. And I don't mean to offend anyone, but just take a toothbrush and clean everything. If you're thinking of listing your home, if you're thinking of doing some renovations, updates, upgrades in your house, and you're not 100% sure what you should do, give me a call. I have opinions, and I'm not too shy to tell them. So give me a call. Thank you for listening here, and check out my other YouTube video where I'm talking about the 10 things that should not stay in a house when you are wanting to sell it.